Mike Fink was a keelboat man and traveled along the Ohio River, delivering goods and services to many people and places. For many years, he was a rascal, and if there was a contest to enter or any special festival or fair, he would enter it. If they didn't have an event, he would challenge somebody to the knife throwing, pie eating, tree climbing right there on the spot, wrestling, jumping, running, you name it. And he would enter it because he was so fast and strong, he would exclaim at the top of his lungs, "I'm Mike Fink, and part man, part horse, and part alligator. No one can whip me in these here parts, and nowhere else. I'm the snapping turtle of the Ohio." Keelboats were like rafts. You could move along the river depending on the depth of the water with a large pole. The longer the poles needed to be and the more men you would need to be would depend on the depth of the water. Open areas of the sides of the boat were where the pole men would move the poles and move the boat up and down the river. If there was anything needed delivered by horseback or wagons, it might take a very long time because there were very few roads, and those roads that were there were in mighty poor shape. And very hard to travel on. The Ohio River made it possible to have goods and services delivered with greater speed. However, there were dangers on the river just as on land. Drowning, crashing, or river pirates made keelboating not the job for the faint at heart. Mike Fink was a powerful man, and he could travel all by himself if he wanted to, because he could push the keelboat pole so hard and fast, he was like a one-man crew. Matter of fact, he could push the pole so hard he could lift the keelboat right out of the water and land it on shore. He could unload the cargo all with one hand while eating a dozen pies with the other. He could make the boat travel so fast, why, in the keelboat race, he beat the others by traveling through time. First he went forward through time, and he met himself where he went backwards. Old Mike Fink was pretty shocked to meet himself like that, but he pulled himself together to win the race. Mike Fink heard about the Ohio pirates called the Buckeye Bandits. They were so fierce and wild that each one of the dozen pirates were almost as strong as Mike. They scared the bejeebers out of everyone and all those other keelboaters. No one was safe in the water after the pirates arrived. It didn't matter how huge their vessels were or how many guns and guards they brought along. They were all robbed. They were all robbed by the pirates except Mike Fink. The Buckeye Bandits held a secret meeting as to how to get old Mike. "We can't go after Mike Fink. He's way too tough for all of us," said one Buckeye Bandit. Arr. Everyone's gonna get Mike Fink to deliver on the river, so there ain't no one left to rob. Old Mike bought himself a huge new boat, and he's gonna bring everyone's order in with one haul. The Buckeye Bandits leader said, "Next week he'll travel through our net and we'll nab him, and all his treasure too." Old Mike was smart enough to know he would be the next to be robbed. He thought up a plan. "I'm real tough, but even I can't pilot the giant boat, be the lookout, guard the stock, and fight all the pirates. I could call my friends the Buckeye Heroes, but I don't want to put them into danger if I can help it. I really only call them in case it's a real emergency. This is my job, and I'm going to guard the Ohio River. If only I could be in more than one place at a time. That's it, Mike thought. I'm going to scuttle those pirates and all their plans. So Mike Fink set out just as he planned, keelboating down the Ohio in his giant new boat with all the cargo to be delivered. As he pushed the giant boat alongside came the Buckeye Bandits. 3 bandits in 4 different boats to steal the cargo. Old Mike said, "It looks like you got me, fellows. I'll even help you unload the cargo." The Buckeye Bandits leader said, "Ha! This was easy, and to think we were scared of you." Mike Fink pulled up the tarp, and under the boxes were hiding 12 versions of Mike Fink. He went back and forward in time to get the very old and the very young Mike Finks. The older Mike swatted one bandit with his cane. Pow! Take that, you young whippersnapper! Even the baby Mike Fink got into the act and jumped up and down on a bandit and even bit the ears of 2 bandits. And while the boy Mike Fink pushed some bandits into each other, present-day Mike Fink bent a powerful beam around some of the bandits. "You varmints won't cause trouble anymore. You can tell them in prison that Mike Fink sent you there all by himself." And with a little help from his friends, the other Finks grunted. All the Mike Finks delivered all the cargo. Then they threw themselves a whale of a wingding before the Mikes went back to their own times. Then Mike Fink went back to having more adventures while cruising up and down the Ohio River.